What's good, everybody? So you said that 2023 was going to be your year to go ahead and get your home, or maybe that you was going to replace your car or get funding for your business, whatever it might be. But you have collections on your credit report that are holding your credit score back and keeping you from being able to get to that accomplishment that you want to get to in regards to your credits and getting what you need to get once you get your credit to a better place. So most people that I see that are in this situation and they finally have their backs against the wall and now they finally need to go ahead and take action, because usually people do procrastinate on working on their credit until they got their back against the wall and they have no choice but they have to take action, which is bad. But the action that almost everybody chooses to take first is always one of the worst things that they can do in regards to trying to fix their credit. So what do you think that is? I want you to go down to the comment, pause the video, go down to the comments and write what you think that one thing is that everybody goes to first when they try to work on their credit that they actually don't know will hurt them. Go ahead down to the comments and leave your comment and then come back to the video. Now, we're going to talk about what that is that people do, why it is that it hurts them in their credit, and what it is you can do about these collections that will actually help you get to a better place with your credit so that this year can actually be your year. So let's go ahead and get started with that. But first, if you're new to the channel, I'm Will Frazier, and on this channel we talk about things to help you improve your personal credit, and we also talk about funding options for your business. So if you want to hear information like that, make sure you subscribe to the channel after you hit the thumbs up button so YouTube can notice this to more people, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified anytime I drop new videos just like this one. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what it is that most people are doing that is actually going to affect them negatively once they get done doing it. That is, if you haven't heard of it before, or if you haven't figured it out from the title of the video, it's paying off their collections. Now, I know what you're probably going to say, but everybody tells me that I need to go ahead and pay off my debts. That's what my mom told me to do, my dad, my uncle Elroy, whoever told you to do all of that. Somebody probably told you at some point that that's something to do. Maybe you have done research and you've seen that that's not the best thing to do already, but a lot of people still go to that as the number one thing to do. Now, the reason why that's not the best option is because basically it's going to have a negative effect on your credit score. Now, I know you're doing something positive, so why is it going to have a negative effect on your credit score? Well, first off, you have to definitely understand that credit scores were not meant for me and you. They affect me and you, but they were not created for me and you. They were created by, of course, FICO, which is the Fair Isaac Corporation, and basically they wanted to create a score which would measure how likely a person was to pay a debt back within the next 2 years, so that they could then sell that score or that information to creditors and banks and anyone that would lend you money, so that they could measure their risk on if they wanted to lend you money or not. So that was the initial purpose of the credit score. It was for use, commercial use by banks and lenders, and with FICO being the person to deliver that score to them. Now, of course, that's how it was in the beginning. There are a whole lot of other extra factors that go into that stuff now, and there's Vantage scores. They're not just FICO scores anymore, but that's what the purpose of it originally was. Now, looking at it from that standpoint, basically they are grading you based off certain activities and actions that consumers do that are not good actions. So basically, even though you're paying a collection, the fact that you had a collection in the first place is going to affect you negatively. But also, the way that it affects you negatively is because there are certain dates that are reported on each account on your credit report. So when you go ahead and pay it, you are updating certain dates on that account on your credit report, and the account is a negative account, so it has a negative effect on your credit score. So even though you're doing something good, it actually ends up affecting you in a negative way. Now, another misconception that people have is they think that because they paid a collection that it's going to be taken off of their credit report, and this is also not true. They don't have to take it off of your credit report. They have no requirement to take it off your credit report, and it really doesn't benefit them to take it off of your credit report. It only benefits you, and honestly, they really don't care about me and you. They only care about their own needs and interests. And also they get penalized and they get in trouble with the bureaus for removing items for payment. So it also is a downside to them doing something that's going to benefit you. And the reason why it matters so much to them is because in order to collect debts, collection companies need to have some type of leverage against you. So that leverage against you is the ability to report something on your credit report showing that you owe this money. So if they lose that ability because the credit bureaus didn't like them removing stuff because you paid it, then they can no longer, they helped you out, but now they can't report these thousands of other debts that they're trying to collect on. So it really doesn't benefit them if you look at it from their standpoint. Now, taking that into consideration, there are some companies that are out there that do still remove them if you pay them. Now, 9 times out of 10, most collection companies you run into are not going to do this in original creditors, because some of you guys confuse charge-offs with collection companies. Original creditors, which are charge-offs, they will not remove it if you pay it. They have no reason to at all, and they definitely do not do it. So if you have a collection company, there's a little bit of a chance there, but most likely you're not going to have a high chance of that happening if you pay them, because they don't have to, and it doesn't benefit most of them. So if you're having challenges with your credit, you have a bunch of collections on your credit report, what is it that you can do to try to get some relief and get these items off of your credit? Because ultimately, the thing that's going to help you out the most is going to be if the item is removed from your credit report. So the best ways to do that is to first off go about disputing the account. Of course, most of you guys may know this already, but there's also certain ways that you want to do it and don't want to do it. Especially, you don't want to do it online, because when you do it online through Credit Karma, through the credit bureau's websites, you miss out on options that you have to dispute the debt, or reasons that you have to dispute the debt that are given to you under law. And you only get like 5 to 10 options that you can choose when you do it online. And they do that on purpose because they know most of those options aren't going to get the item removed for you. Now, if you've heard of somebody getting an item removed just based off of doing it online, then comment that down below. If you've seen it yourself, comment that down below. But I will tell you that mostly one-off situations is when that's going to happen, and you might get 1 or 2 accounts off. But if you have like a bunch of things on your credit, you have less likely of a chance to see that happen. And also, most people are going to have less likely of a chance to see that happen. So now, what is it that you can do about this? What is it that you can do to try to get these items removed off your credit if you need to get them removed off your credit? And trust me, you do if you want to improve your credit score. So basically, what you want to do is, while you are disputing, you want to dispute by paper. You want to send paper mail with any disputes that you have. And I also have a whole series that I did on each different part of what you need to do to try to improve your credit from beginning to end with all of the parts involved. So make sure you check out that series. I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. But you want to go and look at some of the things that are in the laws. Like, for instance, they do say that the item has to be accurate, timely, and correct. Now, this doesn't mean that the account has to be yours. This doesn't mean that the account has to be in your name. That's not what it means by accurate, and that's not what it means by verifiable. Basically, every piece of information on the account is supposed to be accurate. So you can use this in your reasons when you're disputing any account that might be on your credit report, including the collections. Now, of course, with collections, you also want to do debt validation to ensure that the debt is even valid in the first place. That's where you want to get started with the process. But there's also methods using Metro 2. Metro 2 is a coding that is used on the credit report. It is like the language that is behind and underneath everything that you see on the credit report. And certain things have to be coded a certain way on the credit report depending on the type of debt it is, and a whole bunch of other things. It's far too much information that goes into Metro 2 for me to really go into that in this video. But that is something that we do use at my company, in addition to using the other methods that I'm mentioning to you with some more advanced tactics as well. So, and if you guys are actually interested in trying to get something started as far as working on your credit, you want somebody to do the work for you because you're tired of doing it yourself. You're not really seeing as much success as you want to doing it yourself, and you're busy. You don't have a lot of time to really spend researching and doing all of the work and keeping up with all of the letters and everything. Then go down to the description and set an appointment with us. I do have a promotion going on this week for the first 25 people that take advantage of the sale. So definitely go ahead and check that out, see what's going on, and get in this week while we have that promotion going on, because next week the price will increase. But if you're doing this yourself, definitely make sure that you are looking at everything on your credit report. Make sure you're looking at all 3 bureaus so that you can see what all accounts are on your credit report as far as collections. Some collection companies don't report to all 3 bureaus. Some might only report to 1 or 2. So if you're looking at Credit Karma, you're definitely not going to see everything that's out there. So you want to make sure that you see everything that's out there in your name, because when you're trying to get a house, they're going to check all 3 bureaus. So you have to make sure all 3 are clean. And if you're applying for anything, you don't know what bureau they're going to check. So you need to know what's on each bureau so you can be working on all of this at once. Again, once you have identified what accounts are out there and you know what you're working with, look at all of the data and the information on each account so that you can try to make sure that it's all accurate. If you're dealing with collections, make sure that you get a debt validation letter and use that to try to see if the debt is valid or not. And a lot of people get removals just based off of that. And there are some other things you can do, but you definitely don't want to give up after the first try, after the second try, after the third try. Sometimes it can be a little bit challenging trying to get these things off, but just know that if you don't give up and you're persistent and you're doing all of the right things, then it can help you a lot more and a lot faster than trying to pay off the debt, which could actually hurt your credit score. So hopefully you got value from this and you see how you can take some actionable steps to go ahead and take care of these items that are on your credit so that you can start actually making 2023 your year and getting that home that you said that you wanted to get. This process can take a few months when you're trying to work on your credit, and the more missteps you take and the more wrong things you do, it can really set you back and take a lot longer than what you really expected. We're halfway through the year already, so right now is definitely the time to go ahead and get started if you don't want to miss out on this year being your year. If you got value from this video, hit the thumbs up so YouTube can know to show this to more people. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll be notified anytime I let out new videos just like this one. And make sure that you check out the next video so you can see that series that I have on working on your credit, and you can get all the steps you need to benefit from that. I'll see you guys next time.